Hello everyone, how are you doing today? So today I wanted to talk to you about the top 10 ways that you can kind of help cope and manage your stress level during the holiday season. So over on iTrack Bites on their Instagram page, I did this in a two-part series which took up 2 weeks to kind of go through. I cut it up and did 5 topics each day. But tonight I'm going to wrap it all together in one fancy bow package of a video for you. So I got most of the information from the Mayo Clinic website as far as the outline of the topics, but I'm going to go ahead and put my own spin, my own wisdom, and my own experience on how to kind of manage these steps and stress. So number one is to own your feelings. So basically, it's okay to feel upset. It's okay to feel happy. It's okay to feel frustrated or sad if like certain members of the family aren't talking, or if a loved one recently passed away and you're kind of feeling sad and lonely about it. These are all normal feelings to feel during this holiday season. And the best way to kind of get through that is to go through it. Don't deny yourself those feelings because they're important. They're valid and it means something to you. And in order for you to see happiness and less stress, you kind of got to go through that muddy feeling, that part of it, just to kind of get through to the other side. So acknowledge your feelings, don't shove them under the rug, come out in the open with them, and maybe talk with someone about them if you feel like you need to. So number 2 tip on how to manage your stress during the holidays is to reach out. What does that mean? Well, reach out to a loved one, reach out to family, reach out to friends. Basically, what it means is don't isolate yourself. So whether it means to go out and be involved in the community with strangers or going to a Thanksgiving meal with people, friends, even acquaintances who you don't know that you maybe could get closer to, this is what it means. It doesn't mean to hole yourself up in the house and do nothing. Of course, if that's your decision to do it, then go ahead. But if it's because you don't have somebody to do something with, then go out into the community and try to find someone to do it with. You can go to church. There's always lots of people at church. And go see what you can do or what can be done so that you're not so alone and lonely and isolated during the holidays. So that kind of will help as far as the night of and leading up to it, you don't feel as stressed out. So tip number 3 is to be realistic. So what this means really is just that, for instance, in my family, traditions have changed. This will be the first year that we're doing things differently for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. And some people can look at that situation and be sad and be upset about things. But I'm going to try to choose to be looking at this situation like it's a positive thing. Like we get to do whatever we want, make whatever new traditions we want, and make it special to us. And so sometimes your kids turn into adults and they leave the house and they don't want to come to your house anymore to celebrate those holidays. Or sometimes brand new little babies come about and moms and dads don't want to leave their house with the baby. So sometimes you just don't have anybody to go hang out with during the holidays because a lot of your friends might have moved away or are no longer living. So how can you be realistic and how can you be flexible? What things can you do to kind of change the situation? Can you go visit if you're the older adult, can you go and visit your younger adult kids and have maybe holiday gatherings with them at their house? Same with newborns and their families. Can you go to their house for a little while and visit with them and still make the holiday special for you? Can you go and reach out to a friend you haven't reached out to in a while and see if they've got anything going on? Maybe they're just as lonely or don't have anybody to do something with too, and they want to develop new traditions. Number 4, set aside differences. So I know this is kind of crazy because I was just talking about how this new year I've got new traditions and new things going on. Well, part of that is that there is some indifferences between the family members. And so one thing that you can do is just, I don't want to say put on a fake smile, but sometimes for grandkids or nieces and nephews, you want to make the day still special for them, despite what other issues the grown-ups have together. So just get together, try to enjoy the small pockets of fun, and important memories together that you can throughout the day. And really, it takes an act of a miracle to allow some of the other things just to roll off your back, when really you want to maybe take that family member aside and just punch them right in the face. But you can't, because that's not right. So just go ahead and look at the day and try to find the fun in it that you can have. Be the better person, be kind, kill people with kindness all over the place, and overall you're going to be the better person, and you're going to have the better experience, in my opinion. And that's what's happened in my own life, in my own family. All right, number 5, stick to a budget. This is kind of crazy, right? You would think a lot of people know how to stick to a budget, but not really. What tends to happen a lot is that people think, oh, it's Christmas time and quantity is so much more than quality. And really, what I'm finding in my middle age here, if it's middle age, but as I'm finding out in life, that time that you spend with family or friends is so much more important than the materialistic side of the holidays. So set yourself a budget. If it's paycheck to paycheck that you're living by all means, set a budget, be on top of things, and be realistic on how much money you can really spend on people. If you can't spend a lot, then don't spend a lot. You know what I did in many Christmases is to make homemade gifts. One year I bought 9x13 glass baking dishes from the dollar store, and I bought the materials to etch our last names on each of the pans. So it was a personalized pan that I was gifting my friends or family. And then I made homemade bar soap. So you buy all of this larger quantity of items, but then it gets spread out amongst so many gifts. And it's homemade, it's heartfelt, and really spending time with the family member or the friend is so much more important than spending money and giving so many gifts that people can't even enjoy them because it's just too much. And kids, what are they going to do with so many toys and so many gifts? They're just going to shove it in a corner, and maybe slowly throughout the year they'll play with it. But how many times are they going to probably step on it or break it or have to throw it away? And all that money went for that gift for nothing. I just don't think that's as important as just spending time with your loved ones. Number 6, plan ahead. So this is important because when you are feeling overwhelmed at Christmas or at any of the holidays, Thanksgiving, a lot of times we aren't thinking about being on top of it and being a planner. And if you just planned ahead, that would kind of cut back on some stress, right? So pencil things in on the calendar. It seems silly, but like, okay, I'm going to go shopping on this day for these gifts. I'm going to go to this organization and volunteer some time here on this day. I'm going to clean the house and get things done on this day. I'm going to unload my decorations and start decorating the house on this day. So that way, it doesn't all hit you at once the night before you're ready to celebrate the holiday. And things can kind of unfold slowly, and you can feel totally in control and less stressed. Number 7, learn to say no. Is this not powerful? If you haven't learned how to say no in your life, it is amazing. Just truly amazing. Because what it is that you're setting a boundary, and it's a healthy boundary for yourself. So it's not like you're trying to be a bee to someone or you're trying to tick people off, but you're just learning that you have a life and that you are important too. And in order for you to be productive and happy in the society, you have to make sure that you have time for yourself. And so what I tend to do is, so for instance, yesterday I was at church. I was asked by the church secretary to volunteer on Sunday to help with a project, and I kindly turned her down because I'm not one that just a few days before the event is ready to go. I do like some planning, and I like to budget my time appropriately. So I said no. Same thing with Halloween. I stayed at home, turned my lights off. This is the first year I didn't pass out candy, and I was okay with that. Can you imagine? So it's okay to say no. It's okay to spend and put investment in your own time and in your own health and your own mental health. That totally goes very far in life. All right. Number 8, don't abandon healthy habits. Come on now. We all know what it's like. I used to feel this way every time I went out to eat. In my younger days, when we didn't have much money, I would go to the restaurant and I'm like, I'm going to buy whatever I want off the menu with whatever this little bit of money is that I have. That Last Supper syndrome, because I was like, I'm never going to go back to this restaurant again. I'm never going to have enough money to go and spend on all of this kind of food again. And guess what? When I wanted money to spend on those things and to go back to those different restaurants, I made it happen. Was it the last time I was ever going to go to that restaurant and eat that food? Absolutely not. And now that I'm a little bit more financially secure in my life, I'm going there as often as I want. So this Last Supper syndrome that we have in our head shouldn't be even there. We got to knock it out of our head and say to ourselves, it's okay not to undo all the hard work that we did to get here. So when you're at the dinner table at Thanksgiving, let's just use that as the example. And I like to do what's called the Hooch Method. So basically just kind of walking around the table 3 different times, or walking up, back and forth in front of the buffet line 3 different times. But what I'm doing is I'm picking out each individual item that I want to put on my plate, but then I only fill a plate, 1 plate, and that's it. I'm not going back for seconds and thirds. I'm just going to fill that plate with the things that I want to eat, and then I've chosen what to put in my body because I saw it all ahead of time. Versus starting to load up your plate and then realizing halfway through the table that you still have half a table left and your plate is full. And now what are you going to do? Come back for seconds, come back for thirds. Well, don't do that, because most of those things you probably loaded up on your plate were like maybe items that you would have put on your plate. But now you know you only have 1 plate, so now you got to really go through that whole table and pick out exactly the 1, 2, 3, 4 items that you want to eat. Not just items that you think you will eat. So don't abandon those healthy habits, the habits that you work so hard, like I said, to get to where you're at. Don't undo everything that you've done. So other things you can do is pre-meal. So eat an apple before you go to this Thanksgiving meal so that your tummy isn't completely starving and ravenous and you can't even think straight because you're so hungry. And then you go and eat a whole bunch of food just because. You can eat a salad beforehand. You can bring a big jug of water so you're sipping on that throughout the whole afternoon. And then you're just kind of filling up, if you will, like a pre-meal before the big meal. Just leaves less room for all this other food that you may just not need. Other things to do on Thanksgiving Day, go out and walk. If people in the house want to sit at home and watch the football game and you don't want to, then take the opportunity to take a walk. Get moving and get some of that food going through the digestive tract a little bit sooner. I mean, and you're still getting steps in, so you're still being active and you're still putting time and investment into yourself. All right, number 9, take a breather. So I don't know if your house gets like my house does during the holidays, but it gets insanely crazy loud. And I tend to track many conversations in the room. And so when I can't track everything that's going on in the room, I get overwhelmed and I will leave the room. And in past years, I've actually left the occasion, the gathering, because it just got too much for me. So as I've grown older, I've realized that all I need to do is just step out for a minute, catch my breath, tune my ears back to the 0 level that they were at before they got to 10 out of 10, and just take a breather. It's okay. My family knows that about me now. And it's not like I'm some big drama queen, like I'm doing it on purpose. They're just understanding that I have a threshold. And I understand I have a threshold. And so if Auntie Rachel wants to be happy, then Auntie Rachel needs to take a break. And so just take a walk. Or let's say at the end of the night and the party's all done and you just want to decompress and like de-stress, get in the bathtub. Turn on some mellow music. You could even turn on mellow music while the whole crazy party's going on. And somehow I think that kind of helps make that volume level in the room a little less stressful. Just a couple things to try. Just take a breather, take some time for yourself. Buy a massage. 10. Seek out professional help if you need it. No harm and no shame in that. Absolutely none at all. Now, is it true that sometimes during these holiday seasons, the depression or the upset feelings or the overwhelming, crazy anxiety of it all just gets to be too much. And sometimes you think to yourself, maybe this has been going on longer than just this temporary time frame. And maybe it's been going on all my life. And maybe I'm just so crazy, don't want to be depressed anymore. And so you don't want to feel that way anymore, but you don't know how to stop feeling that way. So it's okay to reach out to a medical professional. Sometimes these medical professionals have many different ways of helping to treat the symptoms of what's going on. Maybe it's all you need is just to have someone hear you out. Sometimes medication is involved. Sometimes it's just a temporary medication that just kind of gets you through the hump of these holidays, and then you start feeling better and back to yourself. So sometimes, of course, there's a lot more that's needed, but it's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to talk to people when something's not right. And it's okay, definitely, to seek counseling and help from others, myself included. I just went last night to go get some spiritual counseling from my pastor's wife at church. She's amazing. Amazing. She helped me think of a lot of other things to help me cope and get through these holidays in my own personal life with some issues going on. So you got to take care of yourself. Do what works for you. Keep a good balance in your life between craziness and dudness, like doing nothing, and just enjoy the holidays, because that's what they're meant for, is to gather, to have some good times together, and not to go crazy out of control about all the other details that may or may not ever be remembered. So thank you so much for listening. I hope these 10 tips helped you. I'm going to go ahead and probably do more videos like this as I do more I Track Bites Instagram story takeovers, so I know kind of different topics that I want to hit on. I'm taking a break next week because it's Thanksgiving, so this will be my video until then. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of the night. Gobble gobble. Happy Thanksgiving coming up. I'm sure I'll have another video out there for you guys before Christmas or the winter holidays coming up. So, all right, you guys take care of yourself. Take care of yourself for real. We'll see you next time.